Supreme Court will hear a case that could undo Capitol riot charge against Trump. The Supreme Court on Wednesday said it will hear an appeal that could upend hundreds of charges stemming from the Capitol riot, including against former President Donald Trump. The justices will review a charge of obstruction of an official proceeding that has been brought against more than 300 people. The charge refers to the disruption of Congress's certification of Joe Biden's 2020 presidential election victory over Trump. That's among 4 counts brought against Trump in special counsel Jack Smith's case that accuses the 2024 Republican presidential primary frontrunner of conspiring to overturn the results of his election loss. Trump is also charged with conspiracy to obstruct an official proceeding. The court's decision to weigh in on the obstruction charge could threaten the start of Trump's trial, currently scheduled for March 4th. The justices separately are considering whether to rule quickly on Trump's claim that he can't be prosecuted for actions taken within his role as president. Take a look at some of the other allegations. The Supreme Court will hear arguments in March or April, with a decision expected by early summer. The obstruction charge, which carries up to 20 years behind bars, is among the most widely used felony charges brought in the massive federal prosecution following the deadly insurrection on Jan. 6, 2021, when a mob of Trump supporters stormed the Capitol in a bid to keep Biden, a Democrat, from taking the White House. At least 152 people have been convicted at trial, or pleaded guilty to obstructing an official proceeding, and at least 108 of them have been sentenced, according to an Associated Press review of court records. A lower court judge had dismissed the charge against Joseph Fisher, a former Pennsylvania police officer, and 2 other defendants, ruling it didn't cover their conduct. The justices agreed to hear the appeal filed by lawyers for Fisher, who is facing a 7-count indictment for his actions on Jan 6, including the obstruction charge. The other defendants are Edward Jacob Lang of New York's Hudson Valley, and Garrett Miller, who has since pleaded guilty to other charges and was sentenced to 38 months in prison. U.S. District Judge Carl Nichols found that prosecutors stretched the law beyond its scope to inappropriately apply it in these cases. Nichols ruled that a defendant must have taken some action with respect to a document, record, or other object to obstruct an official proceeding under the law. The Justice Department challenged that ruling, and the appeals court in Washington agreed with prosecutors in April that Nichols' interpretation of the law was too limited. Other defendants, including Trump, are separately challenging the use of the charge. Defense attorney Kira Ann West, who has represented several January 6 defendants charged with obstruction of an official proceeding, said the courts will have to undo a whole bunch of cases and adjust many sentences if the Supreme Court rules in their favor. In our world, defense lawyer world, this is huge. More than 1,200 people have been charged with federal crimes stemming from the riot, and more than 700 defendants have pleaded guilty.